Okay, so this is gonna be a very, very fun video for me. Alright, so there was a Traverse City female that of course shared a stupid gender biased quote status, whatever, and as per usual I reversed it, and then I looked more into it and it became just me dicking on these ignorant females like no other. But let's start out from the very beginning. Here's the status that started all the fun. Yep, that's right. So, naturally, I make a reverse status, shooting it right back at them. Dear women, go to fucking therapy and stop draining the life out of young, handsome men who would do anything in their power to help you, even if it means potentially hurting themselves mentally and emotionally in the process. Because wouldn't you know it, it goes both ways. Signed, a fed up motherfucker. Because as usual, I'm reversing gender bias bullshit and slander towards males and shooting it back towards females and making male versions of the female gender bias bullshit. But to compound on top of this, because wouldn't you know it, it's not just a female issue, now is it? There are more than enough females that need to go to fucking therapy and need to stop draining the life out of young males who would go beyond the measure of normalcy to help the females, even if it meant that male hurting themselves mentally and emotionally in the process. It's not a female problem, it's a human problem. Yeah. Always turning human problems into a gender war or gender specific attack. And attacking of males because females are so desperately wanting to play victim to everything, even if it's made up completely or manipulated, taken from the mainstream of every human being problem available. Females just cannot handle or take the responsibility or accountability for anything, as they are too immature, irresponsible, self-absorbed, self-righteous, and gynocentrically gender biased for their own good. They are so arrogant that they believe that males are the ones who need to go to therapy. Today's females are so arrogant, stuck up, and conceited that they think females are the only ones to be drained by their partner and hurt themselves trying to help their partner. Females of the nowadays are the epitome of ignorance. So then later on, I come up with another one. Because why not? Dear women, how about look at the signs and pick your relationship wisely. Start picking the good men who have already dealt with past trauma instead of picking these no good childish ass dudes, and take responsibility and accountability for your decisions and your actions instead of blaming males. Because blaming males is the opt-out, easy way out method. Because realizing you're the problem and that you make shitty decisions in relationships is too much for your fragile self, righteous, arrogant, ignorant ass to handle. It would break the facade of being the victim as well. Wouldn't want that to happen now, would you? So this brings us to the next screenshot. This had a gamer girl named Jackie, as I looked at her profile, and she mentions all these like online games that she plays, that responded with her stuck-up type, you know, what have you, personality that she has. Because she's enveloped into a world where just because she's female, she gets all sort of special treatment. Everyone just agrees with what she says, no matter what, because she's a gamer girl in a male-dominated world of gaming. So, of course, she's used to males just kissing her ass and all that. So, of course, she's going to have this, like, self-righteous, arrogant type of attitude, but nonetheless, here you go. Alright, so just looking at her profile picture, I was like, yeah, she's got this stuck-up, holier-than-thou type attitude to her. You know, and she does, by the way. So anyways, she tried to call me out saying I was hurt over a woman telling emotionally unstable men, blah blah blah. You read it, so. But the thing is, as you can also see in the photo, I responded literally with the exact same wording and everything, except I added in hypocrisy, and all I did was switch male to female and female to male. And it was just as valid of a response to her as it was to me, in showing that she, again, with such great hypocrisy and gender-biased bullshit, doesn't even realize how much of a hypocrite she's being and how biased she is. That's how bad today's females are. They don't even know how bad they are. So, to compound on top of the response of completely owning her with her own logic and wording and response, I must say that fallacious arguments, you know, using of fallacies, or no responses. Actually, no, it's not even an argument, actually, you know, because an argument is to presume that someone actually has something intelligent to say in response to, you know, the argument at hand. So, fallacious arguments? No. We'll just say responses, as they don't even constitute as being an argument due to how weak they are. Won't work against me, especially due to the fact that all I had to do was change a few words in order to reverse it right back to her to fit me just as much as her. As such, this female is just so one-sided in her gender-biased hypocrisy and gynocentrism that she doesn't even realize just how brainwashed, indoctrinated, and idiotically ignorant she truly is. I don't know why these types of retards think they actually have stand a damn chance against me in any sort of debate, argument, flame war even. Which a flame war, if you don't know what that is just throwing insults at each other. Or anything for that matter. They try so hard, but they just aren't good enough. And can never measure up to my intellect. I'll always destroy them with intellect, reason, ration, and well-written responses that are not only insightful, but overall a response that can be considered more than just a pitiful attempt to insult, but actually has some sort of counter-argument to it, unlike them. As such, they will never have anything that is considered more than a pitiful attempt to insult. But, who knows, maybe someday someone will surprise me. As such, they need to have a counter-argument that is worthwhile, that is actually in disagreement while also being reasonable. However, this is not the case. For emotional females are just children trying to fight against a full-grown adult in a fist fight of the mind, as you would imagine the full-grown adult will always win. They just aren't on the same level as I am. So let's make yet another one, yeah! Dear women, stop targeting all men just because you have shitty taste in men. Sincerely, the non-terrible men. And then, as a good female friend of mine said, on that status, mind you, dear women, stop blaming a man for your unhappiness. Stop staying in a relationship that you're unhappy in, and then say it's all his fault. Stop allowing yourself to be drained. Make a change in a time where the world is the age of blame. Take responsibility for your own life and happiness, and don't settle for someone who makes you miserable. Signed, a woman fed up with other women blaming men for their problems. Of course, this female is not in the USA. Not surprise, surprise. Because American females are just stupid. Straight up. These, you know, German, Ireland, Russia, etc. females just absolutely wipe the floor with American females when it comes to intelligence, I'll tell you that. Way to make America look bad and women look bad, American females. Good job, good job. But let's add another screenshot in there for fun. So this was yet again done by that one female. She made the status saying obviously men cannot be held responsible, and I reversed it like the pro that I am and made it just as valid for men as it is women, because yet again her weak ass attempt of an argument was so simple to reverse. All I had to do was switch the male and the female. See, a good argument is something where it can be criticized, it can be challenged, but yet not so easily destroyed and reversed by using literally the same logic and the same wording and the same everything, just with male and female switch in position. That's terrible. Wow. These are the weakest, saddest, pathetic attempts of a female trying to justify her biased statuses and slander towards men. They make it too easy for me. Way too easy. So, well, if you're ready for a laugh, here's another screenshot she made. So as you can imagine, this was a day after she posted that gender bias status, and she had the audacity, and you'll find out why I'm saying audacity, to say that after her post went viral, a bunch of incels started running rampant in the comments. Just you wait for the up and coming here. You'll see why that's of its own right just downright ironic that she would call others incels. Alright, so let's show you the screenshot of my ownage of this. So of course, naturally, I of course made a full-on status of this, so here that is. And just for clarification reasonings, the shoulda, woulda, coulda was the exact same thing that the Traverse City female put above her status as she shared that gender bias status. So that's why I added that in as an extra, you know, salt in the wound kind of thing. So, okay, as I was saying, in regard to the whole incel comment that she made, here is, and I don't do this, but this female is just over the top, like, in her arrogance, and I'll just put it this way, she's just as ugly as her soul and personality is. Here she is. Yipes. Yeah. Wouldn't you know it? Just like majority, 99% of the females that are into the gynocentric, man-hating and blah blah blah, fit that category. I even made a video on this, the top 10 characteristics, personality traits, etc. of the most gender-biased, gynocentric, man-hating females out there. And she fits many of them. So let's go over it, shall we? Alright, let's go over them. The most common traits, characteristics, circumstances, mind frames, etc. This is taken from the top here. Okay, so the number one, of course, no surprise, is single mothers. And then, which I don't know if she's a mom or not. I didn't really go that far into looking at her crap. Plus, she blocked me. Anyways. Here we go. The number 2 top characteristic. Being fat. Yeah, the chick was fat. Clearly fat, obese, disgustingly sack of fat, like a walking fucking blob. This appears to be the second biggest thing found. They demonize males, try to slander the male character due to how incredibly out of shape and unattractive they are. The females, that is. And the females are due to being more than just overweight, but actually fucking fat. So due to the lack of male attention or getting any hot guys, they, males, are thusly evil and the most egregious folk to ever live. So they, the females, will take any chance they can on social media to demonize and slander males in any way that they can. Yep, she fits that category perfectly. Now mind you, I wrote this data September 7th what was it, last year? Anyways, the third was overprivileged and delusional. I don't know her or anything. Ignorant and stupid. That definitely fits her to a T. Intellectually speaking, more times than none, it's damn near retarded, stupid, ignorant females that are the most man-hating of them all. Sharing all the man-hating, feministic, gynocentric, misanthropic memes, quotes, and sayings that they can. They are so ignorant and so stupid that they cannot see the reality of things and avoid taking any and all responsibility. And so much so they don't want to take accountability for their actions, and that they blame everything on males. They demonize males, slander males' character because they are too stupid and ignorant to look at themselves in the mirror and to see how they are the problem, meaning the females, not males' problems. In other words, it's a personal problem, female problem, nothing to do with us males. Again, this perfectly fits this female. She's ignorant and stupid and fat. So, ding ding. Mental illness, early on bad experiences with males, I wouldn't be surprised. This seems to be a very, very top characteristic within the females that are like this. Self-centered brats, let's just say her attitude proves that. I don't even need to know her. Ding ding ding. The know-it-all feminist, I wouldn't be surprised. But, I don't know. Believes that just being female means superiority. I don't know her well enough, but her attitude wouldn't surprise me if that's what she is. So, again, out of the main characteristics here, she is fat, ignorant, and stupid, and probably has some sort of bad experiences with males or something. So it's funny that she would call anyone who disagrees with her, because she's intellectually dishonest, an incel. Because look at her. She's the female version of an incel. Are you fucking kidding me? She's disgusting. She's as ugly and disgusting as her fucking soul is. Well, that may be. I'm 100% sure her personality and soul are 1,000 times worse than what her physical look is, but still. Ugh. Like, I'm not someone who's all superficial and is into the whole physical attraction means everything, whatever. But I know when someone's fucking ugly. She's just fucking fat and ugly. And her ignorant stupidity does not help her whatsoever. She's a female incel. Yipes. Anyways, moving on. For the last couple hits here. I think it was a day or so afterwards, I decided to hop back on, see if anyone else wanted, you know, replied or whatever, because you're not getting notifications nowadays for whatever the reason. So there's this one fella named Dion, and he was speaking some truth, if you know what I mean. You know, he was just innocently requesting an answer to why do women seem to think this is a gender-specific thing. It's reasonable to ask that, I suppose, if you don't know the gynocentrism of the nowadays. And of course, a female, not wanting her biased beliefs challenged, states, I'm not sure if this was a rhetorical question or genuine question. Genuinely men? Hood rat, ignorant, yep. Should be leaders. If the lead properly? Wow, learn to English. If they lead properly, I had to correct it for her because she clearly doesn't know how to spell it because she's ignorantly stupid. A woman would follow. However, women are fed up with men leading them to heartbreak, and then of course uses an emoji because socially inept. Has to use emoji because I can't word. Anyways, I responded with, and if females could not choose such egregious males that don't lead properly, and actually chose the good males that do lead properly, they wouldn't be led to said heartbreak. Takes two to tango there, chica. It's just as much on the female as it is the male. She should make better decisions with the male she willingly decides and chooses to be with. And those males should and would lead properly. Just some, you know, ungender biased logic for you. Here's the screenshot. Alright, and for the last screenshot that I was able to do, and last response that I was able to do, before she blocked me, because even though her post was viral, she was trying to censor as many people as she could because she didn't want her beliefs challenged. She didn't want, you know, reason and intellect to, you know, interfere with her agenda. You know, you can block me, but you can't block me from spreading information on YouTube and on my Facebook and so on and so forth. The truth is still the truth regardless if you try to censor it or try to block people from spreading it and so on and so forth. And that's, you know, the thing that these females seem to realize is they can be locked in their little echo chamber, their little circle jerk that they're in, or in their case, circle finger. All they want. They can have all their little female groups and man-hating groups that they want, but the truth is still the truth, regardless of how they feel. So, here you go. Alright, so this was the last statuses, you know, so at least I got a really good response and before I was blocked, you know, because again, even though this was viral and so many people were commenting, sharing, liking, she still found a way to block me out of all those people. How interesting is that anyway? Oh well. Okay, so Tara responded to a individual who ironically, or coincidentally rather, was named Michael as well. And I forgot what it was, but it said a man, but she replied saying, a man could make his own to women. She probably doesn't date women, so she put men, you know, basically she was trying to justify the gender bias, how it was only specifically targeting men. And that's a weak-ass argument, by the way. So, way to fail the female intellect yet again, Tara. And then Michael, man, that's a weird thing. Michael responded, but it didn't have to be worded as such to make this a man problem. This is a people problem. that everyone needs to address. I'm just not a fan of people generalizing any class or gender when it applies to everyone. Which, by the way, that was a perfect response. Although he was really nice about it, even though he didn't need to be, it still was just as effective as any other response would have been. And to try to change it to any other, to even argue that, to try to justify giving any sort of response to argue that is just ignorance and cognitive dissonance. So I wanted to compound on top of that because that was so excellently worded and put. I eloquently respond with, these females are showing all signs of cognitive dissonance. They don't want their gender biased beliefs challenged. They want to be in an echo chamber. They need it to be one-sided. Otherwise, they cannot claim to be the victim in this scenario that clearly all humans are victims in. They wish to make human problems into a gender-specific problem. And by that, a male problem. And a female is the victim problem, in a desperate attempt to slander and attack the character of males, along with being able to claim victimhood for their own gender. No matter how much it may apply to everyone, females always will find a way to make it about them and how males are so evil. Only a rare breed of female, and I mean super rare, to find a female that doesn't have this extremely toxic mind frame. These females will use every fallacy known to humankind, from the faulty generalization fallacy, such as the one used in that status of hers, to everything else you can think of. This sort of gender-biased attack on males has become so much so the normalcy due to the extreme gynocentrism that is of the nowadays, that females, as hypocritical as they are, seem incapable of seeing this blatant one-sidedness, much less even acknowledge it. With this sort of gynocentrism, feminism, and misandry on the rise, don't expect females to allow any sort of logic, intellectualism, reasoning, or ration for them to make it a neutral gender status. When man-hating is the new fad, trend, and norm of the nowadays, which breeds not only hate that males see every day on social media with all the real man this, real man that, and other male slandering type of memes and quotes and articles and statements and so on, to male slandering meme statuses like the one that this topic's about, etc. But ignorance, as one would expect from that, because let's face it, these females that are all about these types of statuses are ignorant. Hate and ignorance more so go hand in hand. Hence why there are so much man-hating people. Which equates to why there are so many ignorant females out there. They just go hand in hand. Ignorance and that sort of hate. Sucks, but that's reality, that's truth, and that's fact. Welcome to 2019, where females are just fucking themselves over, showing how stupid they are, how they are run by emotions rather than intellect, how they're unable to stay composed and neutral, so on and so forth. I feel bad for them, actually, but it is what it is, I guess. Females will show their true colors, and I know the females who just aren't good enough to be in my presence, much less any sort of interaction with me, although I do like to just dick on them for the fun of it, though. But if it came to anything of serious matter, or anything in regard to social whatevers, whether it be friends or talking about something that actually matters in the world, they're just not good enough to be in my presence or talk to me about those sort of things to begin with. They're just people that are there to be made fun of and looked down upon of what not to be as a female or a person in general, really. Don't be like that individual. So, I'll just leave it at that. I've said enough. Until next time.